Have you ever walked into your kitchen or a living room and noticed ants suddenly appearing out of nowhere? Perhaps at first, it seemed like just a minor nuisance. But then you couldn't help but wonder, why now? Why here? Millions of people around the world experience these small, seemingly ordinary moments, yet they often go unnoticed. What if these tiny creatures carry a deeper meaning, messages from Allah that we are simply too busy to see? In the Quran, Allah mentions ants in Surah An-Naml 27:18-19. Until, when they came upon the valley of the ants, one of the ants said, "O ants, enter your dwellings, lest Solomon and his soldiers crush you while they perceive not." Even in this simple story, the ants display intelligence, foresight, and caution, traits placed by Allah in the smallest of His creations. If Allah guides even ants with wisdom, could He also be sending us subtle reminders in our daily lives through their appearance? Pause for a moment and think. The next time ants appear in your home, could it be more than coincidence? Could this be a sign? Something meant to make you reflect on your life, your blessings, or your actions? This isn't just superstition or imagination. Across the globe, people share similar experiences, noticing ants at a particular time, then seeing positive changes, warnings or reminders in their lives shortly afterward. Have you ever felt a sudden presence of ants in your home and wondered if it means something? Pause for a moment. Maybe this is a sign you shouldn't ignore. Comment below if you've ever noticed ants appearing unexpectedly in your home. Did something unusual happen afterward? By the end of this video, you'll discover 5 powerful signs that Allah might be sending through the appearance of ants, and the lessons they carry for your life, just as they did in the stories of the Quran and in the experiences of people today. Before starting this video, don't forget to like this video, because it gives us a lot of strength to continue sharing beneficial content. And I invite you to subscribe to our channel and activate the notification bell to stay informed of our next publications on the Islamic faith. Share it with your loved ones and leave a comment to tell me what you think. Thank you and good video. Story 1. Ants as a sign of blessings in a small town in Egypt. A family began noticing something unusual. Every morning, tiny ants would appear in their kitchen, forming intricate lines and tirelessly carrying crumbs from the floor to their hidden nests. At first, the family treated it as a minor nuisance, cleaning up and trying to chase them away. But the more they observed, the more they began to feel a quiet sense of fascination and reflection. These small creatures were working diligently, without complaint or pause, moving in perfect harmony with one another. Then something extraordinary happened. Within a few weeks, the family experienced unexpected blessings. A relative they hadn't seen in years came to visit, bringing financial help. Another family member received news of a job opportunity they had been praying for. Even more profoundly, the family felt a renewed sense of unity and gratitude, realizing that the small ants had quietly reminded them to appreciate persistence, cooperation, and the unseen blessings that Allah provides daily. This aligns beautifully with the wisdom of the Quran. Allah reminds us in Surah An-Nahl 16:18, "And if you should count the favors of Allah, you could not enumerate them. Indeed, Allah is forgiving and merciful." Even the smallest creatures, like ants, play a purposeful role in the universe. Their existence is not random. They are a part of Allah's precise and perfect measure. By observing their behavior, we can reflect on our own lives and the unseen ways Allah provides for us. Ants are remarkable symbols of persistence and cooperation. They work tirelessly together, each one playing a role in the greater good of their community. In the same way, blessings in our lives often come when we are patient, consistent, and trusting in Allah's plan, even if we cannot immediately see the outcome. Whenever you see ants working together tirelessly, reflect on your own teamwork and perseverance. Could this small creature be a reminder to trust Allah's plan for your life? Notice the little blessings that may appear quietly, just like these tiny creatures guiding your path. Share your thoughts. Have you ever seen a small event, a tiny sign, or even an animal's behavior turn into a blessing in your life? How do you interpret these subtle signs from Allah in your daily life? Comment below. Your story could inspire someone else. By paying attention to these tiny signs, we realize that Allah's wisdom surrounds us in even the smallest details. Sometimes, the appearance of ants in our home is not just coincidence. It is a gentle reminder of divine provision, patience, and the blessings that quietly flow into our lives when we remain observant, thankful, and trusting in Allah's plan. Story 2. Warning sign from Allah. In the city of Jakarta, Indonesia, residents of a riverside neighborhood began noticing something unusual. Ants were appearing in larger numbers than usual, crawling up walls and forming long trails inside homes. At first, people thought it was just a seasonal infestation, but a few observant families remembered similar events in the past. When nature shifted slightly, unusual signs often preceded storms or floods. Within days, heavy rainfall caused the nearby river to swell. Those who had taken the subtle signs seriously, clearing drains, securing valuables, and temporarily relocating to safer areas, escaped potential disaster. Others, who ignored these small warnings, suffered damage to their homes and lost precious belongings. This event reminded the community that Allah often sends warnings through subtle signs in nature, and those who are attentive can benefit from His guidance. The Quran reminds us of this wisdom in Surah Al-Baqarah 2:164. Indeed, in the creation of the heavens and the earth, and the alternation of night and day, there are signs for people who have understanding. And day, and the ships that sail through the sea with what benefits people, and what Allah has sent down from the sky of rain, giving life thereby to the earth after its lifelessness, and dispersing therein every kind of moving creature, are signs for a people who use reason. Every detail in nature is a sign. If we pause and reflect, we can recognize guidance and warnings meant to protect us. Ants, in particular, can serve as subtle messengers. Their sudden and unusual behavior may indicate shifts in the environment or prompt us to examine our own lives. Spiritually, they remind us to remain mindful, keep our surroundings clean, and reflect on our choices. Just as they respond to changes in their environment with precision and caution, we too can benefit from observing and acting on small signs from Allah. Notice carefully. Allah sometimes sends warnings through nature. Don't dismiss small signals. They may carry big messages. A sudden appearance of ants may be more than coincidence. It could be Allah's gentle warning to prepare and reflect. Have you ever experienced nature giving a subtle warning before an event? Please share your story below. How do you interpret unusual animal behavior or small natural signs in your daily life? Comment and inspire others. By paying attention to these seemingly minor occurrences, we realize that Allah's guidance often comes quietly and subtly. Ants moving in unusual patterns or appearing suddenly may not just be pests. They may be a call to pause, prepare, and reflect spiritually, emotionally, and physically. When we observe the world around us with awareness, we see that even the smallest creatures can deliver powerful lessons. Story 3. Reminder of unity and cooperation. In many parts of the world, scientists and community leaders study ants not just as insects, but as models of teamwork and efficiency. In the United States, researchers observed how ants coordinate to build complex tunnels and share resources without centralized leadership. In Africa, local communities learned from ant behavior to organize cooperative farming projects, improving harvests through shared effort. The lesson is clear. Ants show us that working together, even in small roles, creates powerful results. This idea resonates with a spiritual lesson from the Quran. In Surah Al-Anfal 8:60, Allah instructs, "And prepare against them whatever you are able of power and of steeds of war by which you may terrify the enemy of Allah and your enemy." While the verse specifically addresses preparation in defense, its deeper principle emphasizes planning, coordination, and collective effort. Just as ants function as a community, each individual aware of their role yet contributing to the greater good, humans too are called to act in harmony with one another, preparing and supporting each other for meaningful purposes. Consider a real-life example. In a small town in India, villagers faced repeated challenges during the monsoon season. Inspired by observing the ants in nearby fields, they reorganized their communal work, dividing responsibilities, sharing resources, and coordinating responses to flooding. The results were remarkable. Less damage, better support systems, and a stronger sense of unity. These tiny creatures had, in a very real way, taught the villagers a lesson in cooperation and foresight. Ants also carry a spiritual message. Their unwavering dedication to the colony reminds us that no effort is too small if it contributes to the welfare of the community. And by reflecting on their behavior, we can ask ourselves, are we collaborating effectively with our families, friends, or neighbors? Are we planning for the collective good or just focusing on individual gain? Observe the ants' unity and think, how can we improve our own collaboration? This tiny creature could be teaching a big lesson about your family or community life. Every ant has a role. Every human action counts. Reflect on your contribution to the world around you. Which life lesson do you think ants teach us the most? Leave your opinion below. Have you ever applied teamwork or coordination inspired by nature in your daily life? Share your experience. By paying attention to ants, we see that unity, planning, and cooperation are divinely reflected in even the smallest of creatures. Allah's wisdom manifests not only in the grand events of life, but also in the quiet, meticulous work of creatures around us. Each ant, moving purposefully with others, reminds us to act with mindfulness and harmony, strengthening the bonds that connect us to our families, communities, and faith. Story 4. Spiritual cleansing and protection. In a quiet neighborhood in Morocco, a family began noticing something small yet remarkable. Ants crawling along their kitchen counters, clearing away every tiny crumb and food remnant. At first, it seemed like a simple nuisance, but upon reflection, they realized it mirrored a deeper truth. These tiny creatures were performing the work of cleansing, removing what was unnecessary and leaving the environment clean and orderly. Inspired, the family began taking small steps to tidy not just their home, but also their routines and spiritual practices. This simple observation aligns beautifully with Islamic teachings. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said that cleanliness is half of faith. Sahih Muslim. This hadith reminds us that maintaining both physical and spiritual purity is central to a life of faith. Just as the ants remove remnants from the kitchen floor, we too are called to clear away the clutter in our lives. Grudges, negative thoughts, unhealthy habits, and distractions that prevent us from drawing closer to Allah. Consider the symbolism further. Ants work diligently, without complaint, quietly performing a service that benefits the whole colony. In the same way, Allah sends signs in our daily lives, through creatures, events, or moments of reflection that encourage us to maintain balance and purity. Seeing ants cleaning can serve as a gentle nudge. What spiritual or physical clutter have I neglected? Am I leaving behind unnecessary burdens that prevent my growth? A contemporary example comes from a family in Japan. They observed ants systematically cleaning the remnants of a spilled snack. Inspired, they implemented a simple daily routine of mindfulness and cleaning, both in their home and in their hearts, setting aside moments for reflection, prayer, and gratitude. Over time, they reported feeling lighter, more focused, and spiritually connected, realizing that these small reminders of order and cleanliness were deeply linked to the blessings they experienced. When you see ants cleaning, ask yourself, what am I neglecting in my life? This could be Allah's way of nudging you towards spiritual and physical purification. Just as ants maintain order in their environment, take steps to tidy your heart, mind, and home. Do you have a personal method of spiritual or physical cleaning inspired by nature? Share it below. Have you ever noticed small creatures reminding you to reflect and purify your life? Tell us your story. By observing ants, we can learn that cleansing is a sacred practice, both in the physical world and in our hearts. Allah's wisdom is reflected even in the smallest acts of these tiny creatures, showing us that spiritual awareness and cleanliness are intertwined. Every crumb removed, every small path cleared by ants can serve as a profound reminder to maintain order, to purify, and to live in harmony with the guidance Allah provides in both nature and faith. Story 5. Gratitude and reflection. One of the most beautiful stories in the Quran involves Prophet Solomon, Sulaiman, and the ants, as narrated in Surah An-Naml 27:18-19. Until, when they came upon the valley of the ants, one of the ants said, O ants, enter your dwellings lest Solomon and his soldiers crush you while they perceive not. So Solomon smiled, amused at her speech, and said, My Lord, enable me to be grateful for your favor which you have bestowed upon me and upon my parents, and to do righteousness of which you approve. This verse highlights gratitude, awareness, and reflection. Even the smallest creature, a tiny ant, can spark a profound moment of mindfulness and thankfulness. Solomon's recognition of the ant's warning shows that Allah's wisdom is everywhere, and the simplest signs can inspire deep spiritual insight. In modern life, many people experience similar moments. For example, a woman in Morocco noticed ants appearing near her prayer area every morning. Rather than ignoring them, she paused and reflected on the blessings in her life, the food she had, the family around her, and the opportunities to grow spiritually. Over time, these small pauses became daily rituals of gratitude, reminding her that even tiny creatures and small moments carry meaning. Ants remind us that gratitude is not limited to grand events. Every moment, every creature, and every act of nature can serve as a sign of Allah's infinite wisdom and generosity. Their behavior encourages us to pause, observe, and give thanks for the small miracles that we often overlook. A sunny day, a kind word, or even a tiny ant carrying food in its path. Take a moment to appreciate the small blessings around you. Could Allah be reminding you to give thanks for life's tiny miracles? Reflect on the small signs. Sometimes they carry the biggest lessons. Have ants ever inspired you to pause and reflect? Share your moment in the comments. What small creatures or events have reminded you of Allah's wisdom recently? Tell us your story. By paying attention to these small signs, we realize that Allah's guidance surrounds us in every detail of life. Like Prophet Solomon, we can learn to see wisdom in the tiniest creatures, using these moments as opportunities to express gratitude, reflect on our actions, and recognize the blessings that flow silently around us each day. Closing, call to action. As we've explored in this video, the appearance of ants in your home can carry profound meanings if we take the time to observe and reflect. They may be signs of blessings, reminding us to recognize Allah's provision in our lives. They can serve as warnings, encouraging mindfulness and preparation. They teach us the importance of unity and cooperation, showing how small actions contribute to greater outcomes. They inspire spiritual cleansing and protection, nudging us to remove clutter from both our hearts and homes. And finally, they encourage gratitude and reflection, helping us pause to appreciate the tiny miracles around us, just as Prophet Solomon did. Every natural occurrence holds potential spiritual significance. The smallest creatures, like ants, carry lessons that span patience, foresight, harmony, cleanliness, and gratitude. By observing the world around us, we open ourselves to Allah's guidance and wisdom, learning to see beyond what appears ordinary and recognizing the divine in everyday life. Next time you see ants, don't just brush them away. Look deeper. Nature is full of messages. Let's open our hearts to see them. Every tiny creature carries a lesson. Let it inspire reflection and gratitude in your life. Which of the 5 signs do you relate to most? Comment below and let's discuss. Do you have a story about a small creature that reminded you of Allah's wisdom? Share it. Have you ever noticed subtle signs in your daily life that guided or inspired you? Tell us your experience. By observing and reflecting on these signs, we learn to live with awareness, patience, and appreciation, embracing the lessons Allah places in the natural world for those who take the time to see them.